Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream here with the live stream here with the Outdoors guys. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me on what is finally a warm day down here in Texas. For those of you guys who are jumping in, we're going to have a blast here. I have with me Mr. Steve from Haulin Ash Outdoors. I have John from A&J Outdoors, and soon we will have Grant from Grant McIntosh. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing?
Grant's backstage waiting for you, brother. Boom, boom, boom.
There he is now.
Dear Slade.
I just introduced you, Grant. You guys are on. How are y'all doing? What did I miss this weekend?
I'll let you gentlemen.
Oh, what'd you miss this weekend? Up here, just more snow and ice. That's it.
No, I did not miss that for a single second.
I'm sure you didn't.
Nope. No, thank you.
That's all we had here was snow. Nothing fun yet. Started melting a little bit yesterday and a lot more today. So we got up in about 52 today. So hopefully, at the end of the week, we'll try to go catch crappie.
Slick Rick, Janet.
I love it. Scully, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man. Been a minute. Slick Rick, sir. Pleasure to see you. Janet and Fish in the Mitten. Gentlemen, pleasure.
So my weekend, well, it was a little bit heartbreaking because I had to leave and come back to Texas. But
right there.
Got here Saturday, and it was, I don't know, near 50 degrees or so when we got playing. Not bad. Still wearing shorts. And then yesterday it was 72. So you're welcome, Stanley. I brought back the warm weather for you.
You did. You did bring it back.
And today's 69. It's one of those things. It was a great vacation. It was fun to go. Want to go again as soon as I can. But it was good to get home too. You know what I mean? Because on a vacation like that, you're staying with someone else, and it's just, people around you the whole time. You don't get any. Me and Audrey are here at the house alone, so we're used to a little space and quiet once in a while. And you're not in your own bed, and it's just all that stuff. But I wouldn't trade it. It was an awesome trip. I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't wait to see videos. I've seen some behind the scenes pictures. I'm assuming you're going to do like I did in Cozumel, recently, where you now are going to be posting Florida videos until like midsummer.
I didn't do as well as you did in that ring, but there will be a couple videos. Yes.
Good.
What are y'all talking about in the chat now?
I'm just throwing some welcomes out there. Welcome everybody. Justin Randall just came in. Glad to see you again. Fish in the Mitten. I know you guys just mentioned that he was here. Glad to see him here as well. He's a Michigan boy. I'm sure he's enjoying this cold and ice as much as we are. Actually, it warmed up today. I'm building a garage right now, and we wanted to put shingles on, and we got the delivery today and started putting shingles on it. It's warmed up enough that the snow and the ice has melted off the roof. So, and I see Pete Pappas is in the house too, another Detroit walleye fisherman.
Mr. Pappas, pleasure to see you. Peter, appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man. How are you? Are you thawing out? How's it? How are things up in Waco right now?
Oh yeah,
he got colder than us, but he's got a foundation. I don't have that. I'm on pier and beam. I have been very absent. Just to clear the air, so everybody is aware. I'm not trying to be antisocial or nothing like that. This freeze, it took it out of us. It destroyed all the plumbing in my house. It is just now. We went and spent the weekend with my parents with no wireless, no connection to the outside world out there, which was nice. Now, back here in Beeville, it is at the point where I can now fix the plumbing in my house, except that there's no plumbing supplies available. So that's what I'm dealing with right now, thawing out down here in Texas. Please say some prayers for me. It's going to be a rough week.
Hey, Justin Randall, you're a plumber. Maybe you need to take a run down to Beeville, Texas, and help out Stanley.
Dude, anybody who can get me boxes, I'm not even kidding. If you can get me boxes in like a day, of 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch PVC and CPVC fittings. Anything you got, hit me up in the email down below, in the description down below. Hit me up. Let's get a little side hustle going. I will go sit in the parking lot of Sutherland's and I will sell those fittings for $3 a piece.
Oh,
A&J
moneymaker.
Outdoors, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate the thumbs up, brother.
Hey, what's up, McKay? Oh yeah, totally understand, man. Totally understand. It got down to 2 degrees in Waco, but they were extremely lucky. Power and water never went out, and we were fully stocked up on food. Didn't have a problem with food. Obviously, I'm doing pretty good in that regard. But yeah, the freeze was it was pretty rough on us down here. We got into the teens. That is the first time I've ever seen teens in South Texas, and it was, I believe, the worst freeze since like 1795 for us. It killed all the fish. Bringing this back around to outdoors and fishing and everything that we, enjoy talking about it. You will see stories about this on the news about how it's killing off all the fish. Throw Ride went out and they had a difficult time fishing today because everything's dead on the shore right now.
Yeah, your boy Thresher fishing. I think he put out a video yesterday where he went out to do some fishing and just look around, and he's got that little boat thing that he had the whole front full of just dead fish that he was picking up. There's a bunch of fish on the shore, but then he was out in the water, and they're out in the water on the bottom too. Just
wow.
So it's definitely going to affect the fish populations.
Yeah, well, what was he finding down there? Was it like mullet, or is he finding trout and reds?
Trout, reds, a lot of mullet and all that, catfish too.
Ouch.
But then you start finding a couple 22-inch trout and a whole bunch of trout, really, and not as many reds, but he found some reds too. So yeah, that sucks. We're all just
taking a second to respond to it. I've got my dummy YouTube account in the chat there. That's Video Outdoors. So anybody who knows who's that weird dude, that's me.
Your Video Outdoors?
I was just about to kick him out.
That's my job. I got the button to push everybody out.
Right.
Hey, anybody who wants to practice with that, have some fun with it, go to town on it. That's totally fine. Doesn't bother me. Good predator bait. Man, Justin, it would be good predator bait if it wasn't everywhere. Yeah. Was Thresher collecting them to throw away, or was he going to eat any of that? I hadn't seen this video.
He put it back in the water. He just collected it up to give people an idea of just one little small area, how many fish there were. Pretty
that
sad.
Sucks.
Yeah, pretty sad.
A few pictures from down that way, and then seen a bunch of pictures of sea turtles. People gathering up sea turtles.
Rescuing them, yeah.
That's common, because the first thing, whether it be hurricane or freeze or, a political election, it doesn't matter. The first thing people do is go and save sea turtles. Those guys get protected like no one's business.
Yeah. My nephew works in some capacity with, he's a marine biologist, and he's in college close to one of you guys, Texas A&M.
He's down in Corpus, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And that's what his thing is rescuing sea turtles.
It's a big one. That's a big one down here. It's either, if it's not Texas A&M, the University of Texas has they got an institute in Port Aransas as well. That's where the turtle research program is.
Yeah, pretty ugly mess there.
Yeah.
Pretty ugly. Sea turtle is good eating, kind of like chicken scallops.
I've never had it, but I'm curious.
Nick, you're going straight to where.
Yeah, don't say that in Texas. People will freak out. They're very.
They'll be like, "Where's this Nick? Now, we heard about Nick eating sea turtle. Where is he? We're gonna find his ass."
You're gonna wake up and step out your door. There's gonna be 3 people like sitting there waiting for you, and one of them's gonna slap you in the face. The other one's gonna like spray you with red spray paint.
Hey, anybody who wants Nick's address, just send me $100. I'm kidding, Nick. I wouldn't.
If I'd have known you were a sea turtle murderer.
Man.
And what's funny about it is, like, I've seen days. I've got a video on my channel from a couple years ago where we went out to the jetty, Fish Pass jetty, and there was thousands, like an uncountable number of sea turtles. We got a drone shot of it. Peter did. He's hanging out in the chat here. He got a drone shot of this, and I mean, it looks like like Oreo cookie ice cream. with all the Oreo cookies all over in the ice cream. That's what the sea turtles look like in the surf. Literally thousands of them. I mean, you could stick your arms out and hit 5 at a time. They're everywhere. But you got to protect those guys. they're endangered, and you're not allowed to touch them and everything else. You don't mess with sea turtles.
Live groupers, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So besides me, since I spent the week down in the Keys, is the chat who got to do some fishing lately.
Yeah, I want to hear some stories. Scully, you were talking about that drum and some other stuff you got yourself into. Was that recent, or was that like a highlight trip? You said you had a couple of bull reds over 30 and some gaff tops, a bunch of ground mullet, which that's something I'll be eating here sooner or later. Anybody else? What stories you got?
We went out ice fishing yesterday, my son Chris and I, and got a one whopping bluegill for the day. That was it. But it got us out of the house, and it's the way fishing goes sometimes. Full intentions of making another ice fishing video, but that's the thing with this: if you don't catch fish, you don't get to make a video.
Been one of those, and it didn't do well. So yeah, I'm kind of on that same. If I don't catch, it's not going to become a video unless something really crazy happens. One of them boat ramp incidents occur or something. You get lucky. You get some footage or something, but other than that, yeah, those are just days to practice.
You could always save that footage and use it as the beginning of your next video. Talk about, having the storyline of like, oh, we had a really rough day. Now we got to make up for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not all the footage. Don't do 10 minutes of not catching a fish as the start of a.
Yeah. Oh, you limit yourself for sure. If you filmed all day, you didn't catch a fish, and now you're going to use that as the beginning of your next video, you only get to use like, a minute and a half of that footage.
Max.
You got to condense it.
I see Justin Randall made the comment, the hand auger video made me tired just watching it. I put that on my Facebook page. And him and Pete Pappas, Pete says he was bored watching it too. Neither one of them, I guess, cared to ice fish much, but yeah, I put it on Facebook.
Audrey said
got blowed off.
Audrey said he still uses a hand auger.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, I'm on this health kick. I could fire up a propane auger, but the hand auger gets gets the metabolism going and burning fat and carbohydrates. And
I thought it was just old age and stubbornness. Is what I thought.
Well, you could say it's because I don't want to go buy a gas powered auger, but.
Okay, I'm right then.
I do got to say, the result of your using the hand-powered auger, it's you've been putting some time in the gym dieting everything. It shows. It particularly shows very well in that shirt that you're wearing.
Like that shirt?
You're rocking it.
It wasn't too long ago that I couldn't fit into this shirt, and as long as John is going to brag about going to Florida, I'm going to brag about how much weight I've lost. I was just short of 280 pounds, and I stepped on the scale day before yesterday, and I was at 246.
Man, I will drink to that.
And you're like
kudos and keep it going.
Really good.
Yep. So it feels good. I feel more active, and I feel a whole lot better than I was. God, you go to bed at night, and it's like, oh, you feel so tired. And now it's like, well, let's keep on going.
That's really good. So what you doing there?
Well, I am making a walleye crawler harness while we're talking.
Can never have enough of those.
The problem is I usually do this out in my shop where I've got better lighting than I have here. So trying to thread these beads on is a pain in the butt.
Real quick here, I apologize for interrupting. I'll get right back to you. We got a super chat from Hamiltonville Farm. Hank, I very much appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, popping in, saying hello, and thank you for the super chat, sir. That is going to go straight to my plumbing, and I thank you very much for that.
The way they're marking stuff up down there, that might buy you one fitting.
That's gonna be one coupling between two pieces of pipe, but I'll take it, and I thank you regardless.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Steve, go ahead, man. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir. I apologize.
Yeah. So I did this video back 2 years ago, one of my earlier videos, and I thought, well, I'm going to put it back up because pretty soon people are going to be back out, walleye fishing, and they're going to be using these. So I put it on, I re-brought it up, and Pete Pappas, my buddy Pete there, he said he uses a different kind of bead. I use these single beads, but he uses a stacker bead. And it's like 4 of these beads all put together. So you put that on the line, and then, you put another 4. He showed me what it looks like. It looks really cool. And he would know. I mean, he puts more walleye in the boat than anybody I know, including Justin Randall.
Nice.
Come on, Justin, give me a comment. I know you're there.
Junior Gonzalez just said, "How's the weather over there?" You gotta specify where's over there. We got Texas up in the corner, South Texas, a little more north, but still South Texas, Michigan, and Illinois. So, how's the weather where?
It doesn't matter. It's not good, but not as miserable as it was, regardless of where you're at. I think that's a pretty simple answer across the board.
Yeah, it's nice here now. I mean, I think today's high up here was only 69, but that's nice.
I've got the AC running.
Yeah, we did too yesterday. Everything's drying off. The dogs tracked mud all over the place, literally beds, couches, carpet, everywhere, because the whole yard turned into a mud pit. So now it's nice. That's all drying up. We can start cleaning shit up. I still got to go out and clean up my patio. That's a mess. My daughter's rotten dog chews up everything. So, but that's for another story.
Dude, Sunfish Assassin. I love that channel name.
How's everyone doing? We're doing great. I'm doing great.
We had growing up. I don't know you guys. This was my childhood. I assume you guys at least had some familiarity with it on the same hand. But we had those little sailboats. We had a dolphin, but the smaller one is the sunfish. I see that channel name Sunfish Assassin, and it just reminds me of my childhood growing up and fishing off that little dolphin sailboat. We would, I mean, just totally fill that thing with good fish, and like that name Sunfish Assassin. I love that. I just totally associate with that.
Sea Pro's in the house. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, what's up, Wayne?
Hey, Wayne. Got to throw a shout out to Jerry Toner. Glad to see you're here, Jerry.
Jerry, appreciate you.
Yep.
Your buddy Doug Wynn commented a few comments back, said, "Hey guys, our snow left today in West Kentucky. Lake's going to take a few days to thaw."
A few days to thaw. Yuck, that sounds terrible.
Right.
Hey, I wanted to re-engage something we were discussing last week real quick while Wayne's in here. I remember like Stanley we're talking about fish Texas, fish Florida, size limits and all that. And one thing I realized being in Florida, now if you're up on the west coast of Florida or east coast of Florida, your size limits are what they are. But when you come down into the Keys, you can fish both sides. And so when you're asking him, for example, the mahi-mahi size limit, and he told you it was 20 inches to the fork, that's the Atlantic. That's where he fishes. But if you're in the Keys, you can jump into the Gulf, or we turn one way and go less than a mile, we're in the Gulf, and turn the other way less than a mile, we're in the Atlantic. In the Atlantic, 20 inches to the fork. In the Gulf, no size limit. So if you look through the Florida Fish and Game book, it's all through there. Different fish will have the same fish. I mean, will have different size limits and how many you can keep based on if you're fishing on the Gulf side of Florida or on the Atlantic side of Florida. So it's kind of unique. You can't just say, "Hey, in Florida, what's the size for?" It's the Atlantic side of Florida or the Gulf side of Florida. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Go ahead, Stanley.
Well, I mean, we see the same thing with the state waters and international waters, and it's weird hearing that you can be 1 mile from one spot, a mile, another spot in the other direction, and you have different rules you have to follow. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, we've talked about this before, where I would dearly love to see a standardized or at least a national hunting fishing license available. And I kind of feel the same way about some of these, fishing rules. It's not like the populations are any different 1 mile, east versus 1 mile west. I think that we are in the day and age with the internet and access to everything that we have going on right now. I think we're at a point where we can actually come up with something that's a little bit more of a universal role, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where there's certain areas, freshwater and saltwater, where type of fish is more plentiful than in other areas, so they, restrict sizes or whatever. I think that's important to management, but I also agree. Hey, let me buy a fishing license and I can fish anywhere in the United States.
I'll pay money.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for a discount.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think that it all comes down to who gets the money, right? Are you going to split let's say I spend $30 on a fishing license. Well, there's, how many states, right? And they're going to each get, less than $1 of my fishing license, or is Texas going to get all of it because I'm fishing in Texas? So I don't know if that's ever going to be fixed, to be honest with you.
Well, but that is still ridiculous. I could go off. I won't do it. I could go off on a serious tangent about that. But I feel like it's just so we are so globalized as a society now. We can figure out how to combine the licenses between our various states here. I don't see it being that big of a deal. Doug Wynn is headed to Lake Washington, Mississippi in a couple of weeks. They're going for 3-pound crappie. My dad is in Mississippi right now, so I will, stay tuned, keep in touch with us, particularly next Monday, and I'll be talking to my dad, see how he does. I'll pass that along to you, anything that I get from him.
Awesome.
Thoughts? Okay, gentlemen, obviously this is a little bit more catered for the Texans, but I would like Grant, Steve, I'd like y'all's opinion on this because you deal with it from a different point of view than we do. Mr. Covarrubias says, thoughts on catch and release in Texas waters impacted by fish kills. Do you think releasing more will help populations? John, can we start with you on that?
Yeah, let me know if I'm catching what you're saying. I think what you're saying is now that we've had this kill off from the storm, going forward, more catch and release, would that help keep the population up? If that's what you're saying, I could only assume, yeah, that would help keep the population up. I think what will probably happen, what should happen, Texas Parks and Wildlife biologists need to do some krill surveys, maybe do some nets, get an idea of what's out there and how much we've lost, and then make an adjustment based on that. Recommendations. I don't know if they'll change how many fish you're allowed to keep, that kind of stuff. I mean, it could. I personally I do a lot of catch and release, mainly in freshwater. But in saltwater, I only get to the coast anywhere from 1 to 4 times a year. So if I catch something that's within its legal size and my limit, I typically keep it because they're delicious. But yeah, it might be a consideration if the fishing's bad now because of the die off. You do catch some fish, you keep them and eat them, or if you don't need to, maybe release them. I think I'd have to think about that when I get down there. I'd have to think about it. That might be, something that'll help. But, are you going to get a push of people to do that? If me and 3 other guys do it and no one else does, it's not going to have any impact at all. So, yeah, that's a good question. I like that.
It's kind of like the quality deer management up here, where people say, you shouldn't shoot anything unless it's a 4-point on each side or something like that. And that's fine if you've got a group of people that are, landowners that got large tracts of land. But the way that deer roam, it doesn't work for me, especially not here. I have 35 acres, and by God, they eat a lot of corn and beans off my little 35 acres. And one comes on, it's going to go in the freezer. And that has nothing to do with the topic about fish kills, but I just was thinking along those lines that it's got to be done for everybody, or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be the devil's advocate for that. So saying that, there's no chance of those smaller bucks ever getting to be big. I mean, I do get what you're saying. It's your property. You can do what you want to do. You're going to put the meat in the freezer. You got the tag for it. Fill the tag by all means. You paid for it. But on the other hand, if you're looking for that trophy deer to go on the wall and you shoot all the little ones, they're never going to get big. They don't have that possibility.
I understand that perfectly. And that's the argument, and we're getting off the topic, but my argument is that unless everybody in that does it, unless everybody is going to do it, it's not going to work. Got neighbors over here, the same thing, that they're going to shoot the first thing that comes out of their little 2-acre patch. So, I'm feeding the damn deer out of my place. I'm gonna get some of that back via meat.
Right.
I don't disagree with you at all, Grant. It works where it works. It does.
Right. It kind of goes with fishing too, though. I know down there in Texas, there's a lot of big areas of water, but say we've got a 2-acre pond that the 4 of us fish. Me and John always throw our fish back. Stanley and
he doesn't.
Steve,
I don't.
They keep them all, And it's, 2 for one, 1 for the other.
You're right.
And I got to say, this is the perfect point on this. Like everything you got, this conversation between you guys is to the point more than just about any other conversation I have heard. I think it's dead on. Keep it going. What do you got, Grant?
If we all 4 keep all of our fish, then there's no chance.
Yeah.
That's true. You see a lot of what Grant's saying in the low fence community here in Texas, where all these people are low fence, and they try to make pacts with each other that we're not going to shoot a deer that meets these specifications. But also for trophy deer, there are folks that take out certain. I think it's his audio again. For trophy deer, there's folks that, hey, if you got a spike, they're going to be a spike. Take them out of the gene pool. If you got that one that has 1 sticking up and 3 going sideways, take them out of the gene pool. Shootable deer, cold deer, whatever you want to call them. So that's a piece of it too. And does. Does eat too. If you got a population, a large population of does with fewer bucks, it's not going to do you good either. So one of the cool things, if you ever heard of an MDL ranch or MLD ranch here in Texas, it's where you own this ranch. You get with the Texas Parks and Wildlife, their biologists. They do a study on your ranch, and then they tell you what you need to do to manage that herd that's on your ranch. It's usually the high fence folks. And they give you tags like, here's how many does you can kill, here's how many bucks you can kill. And then I'm Joe Snuffy. I pay them $150 to go kill a doe. It doesn't come off of my license, my tag. It comes off of their MDLR tag. I think Steve, say something real quick.
Yeah, Steve needs to
A,
talk.
B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah. Your audio's jacked up again.
I'm not even talking.
Oh, it's Steve's audio that's doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
I
was wondering what that was.
Demons live in this computer. I'm going to go out and come back.
All right. There's
Oh, that's so much nicer.
Hey.
I'll bring him. I'm going to give him 5 minutes to take a break. His point was dumb anyway.
Hey, C-Pro, I didn't miss what you had said. C-Pro had lined up to do a fishing with Florida fishing couple, Captain Dan, and he said that the trip to the Keys got canceled because of weather. So hopefully you get to reschedule that bad boy and get down there, because I've been watching. I thought maybe there'd be a video popping up soon. So hopefully that gets redone. What else we got going on in the chat?
Well,
never good to throw anything back.
I just remembered that I hadn't shared out the stream. So if anybody else hasn't shared it out, it's a good time to do it. We got about 30 minutes or so left.
Yeah.
And I appreciate anybody who does. Thank you very much, for supporting us on that, helping us out and share this out. Obviously, every little bit helps. So thank you.
Absolutely. And we got 18 watching, and I see 14 thumbs up. So let's hit them thumbs, boys and girls.
Guys, can't thank you enough for everything. Being here, hanging out with us, providing us with such a wonderful commentary and conversation. All the thumbs up, the subscribing, everything. Thank you.
Yep. So C-Pro, Wayne, I couldn't sell you on the Mini 2, huh? Not Mavic Air 2. Look, it's a better drone. That's why it costs more. So yeah, that would be an awesome drone. So whatever you choose, brother, good luck and enjoy. You'll love it, guaranteed. What else is going on?
I was loving the point. I never even thought about it, but talking about the conservation efforts for deer. I think that's a totally appropriate conversation in regards to this fish freeze. We see things like this from time to time. I kind of get the feeling like this isn't the first time that we've seen a massive fish kill off, you know?
Yeah.
That having been said, this one's going to be kind of bad. And so I'm kind of like, I feel like at least we need to have the discussion of just how bad is this going to be. And if it turns out to be that bad, then, you know, what sort of things do we need to do to be prepared for that? Personally, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what to say about this as far as these fish getting killed off like that. I have no idea what the populations are going to be looking like.
Yeah.
And just going into it blind, what is my opinion on whether or not we should cut back? I am one of those guys on the side of I don't believe that recreational anglers are the ones that are causing population issues. I believe that we should have a Jewfish tag, and subsequently I still call them Jewfish. So I'm one of those guys. So I kind of feel like, no, I don't want to be limiting, you know, the fish that we take. At the same time, I do want to be, you know, open to the fact that, you know, those fish that we normally fish for might not be there. And yeah, we might need to make some changes to our, you know, to our rules for a little while until they come back.
If you're a rabbi or something and you want Stanley Orchard's address, send me $100.
Someone's going to, as soon as I open the door in the morning, someone's going to be there just to slap me in the face.
Is the audio better?
Steve, you sound much better. And somebody made the point, maybe not your phone, but your computer. You're probably being monitored by the FBI, and that's where that whole thing comes in with the.
Someone's got your line tapped.
Well, yeah, it's probably that guy on Facebook today. Probably got me wired up.
Sunfish Assassin says, is it mostly bigger fish or different size across species? It's a freeze. So it just killed everything that couldn't get down to probably like 5-6 feet of water. It killed them all.
Yeah. And they did shut down fishing for a little bit to protect, because there's certain areas that fishermen know about, that deep holes where when it gets cold, the fish are going to get there to stay alive, and they'll go in there and just tear them apart, because some fishermen don't have ethics.
They did actually shut down the fishing while you're in Florida for probably 3 or 4 days. We weren't allowed to fish down here for that very reason.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that. That's exactly. So you can't trust just fishermen to do the right thing all the time.
Oh no,
80% will, but 20% is going to screw it up.
You've seen those pictures and heard those stories of those guys that go after flounder and come back with like 80 in a night.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of which, I need to go get some flounder.
It was mullet. It was everything. That was and you know, on that topic, up here, our 2 power plant lakes, we have the lake turns over, you know, certain times of the year, the oxygen levels change, and we usually have a kill off where you see a bunch of floating bluegill, catfish. We have reds and hybrids in there, so they're all floating. It's like, you know, somebody who hadn't seen it before would be like, oh my God, look at all these dead fish. The lake is ruined. But for whatever reason, well, they stock the lake too, but the fish are there, you know, continue. It's bad. It looks gross for a while. It stinks for a while. The fish are still there. So, you know, maybe, hopefully something like that. Algae blooms killing lots of fish. Yeah.
Seen that one several times. The red tide.
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if in another month or so we get something from Parks and Wildlife saying, you know, your limit of redfish is 1 per angler. Your limit of trout, you know, that's possible. It is possible.
Yeah, and you know that's the way it goes. And I don't know. You know what's really going to affect me the most out of all that is whiting. Like there's going to be reds of trout. We're going to catch them, just not as much. But whiting, I mean, they're a smaller species. I got Money says they got impacted a little bit worse.
That's the one I didn't see, but he didn't go like near the surf or anything. You know, on his video, as far as all the fish he collected, I didn't see any whiting. Of
course. If you've ever been offshore, another thing, and I don't show this in videos, I've seen it several times, but it's a pretty disgusting thing. And again, harkens back to my opinions of commercial fishing versus recreational fishing. But we go and fish behind the shrimp boats a lot. And one of the best times to do that is when they're culling their catch. And when they're culling their catch, the shrimp boats, and mind you, there are hundreds of shrimp boats offshore all over the coast. But anytime they're culling their catch, there will be a wake for miles, 10, 15, 20 miles. There will be a wake of croaker behind the back ends of these shrimp boats. They take in all the shrimp. They're catching up all the croaker, and they kill them, and then they just dump them overboard. They cull them because it's not part of what they're trying to sell. And you used to be able to, like in the 70s and 80s, you used to be able to catch 1-2 pound golden croaker. It's a good eating fish. You don't see that anymore, and this is the reason why, and it has nothing to do with recreational fishermen.
Wow. Yeah, we find last year, was it last year? No, not last year, 2020, I fished the coast once and it sucked. So 2019, we finally got into some croaker that, first glance, that's a small red. Nope, it's a croaker. They were good size. So, and they are delicious. You're right. So hopefully we bounce back from all this stuff. I don't know how long it's going to take. As much as I like to talk about how good fishing is in Texas, I've got to say it's so much easier in Florida to find snapper, mangrove snapper. It's just not a lot of work compared to here in Texas when you're trying to go get something. You know what I mean? It's just
No, I don't.
So you're gonna get down there. You'll understand.
I don't have enough whiskey for this conversation.
I'll drink for the both of us.
So do you think all the dead fish help other species? The sharks eat them, or
didn't look like much was eating them because they were, by the time he was pulling them out of the water, they were stinking rotten.
Yeah. I think that I think it's going to hurt populations across the board. In the bays, I think offshore will be okay, but in the bays,
yeah. And I would assume even what they ate, the crustaceans and stuff like that, probably was impacted, just like the fish. I think it was probably from bottom of the food chain to the top of the food chain within the bays was probably completely affected.
Don't be surprised if you see a difference in prices on shrimp.
Yeah,
it's a lot of shrimping that happens down here. A lot of that happens in the bays, not necessarily the bigger shrimp, those jumbos,
right,
but the medium-sized shrimp. And maybe it affects prices across the board. I don't know, but I expect a lot of shrimp got killed, and prices are probably going to be a little bit different this year.
And bait shrimp too.
Do you guys catch shrimp? Do you guys catch your own shrimp to eat?
You can, yep.
You do?
I haven't. They're highly regulated. They're strangely regulated, so it's a little bit difficult. But you can. I've got all the stuff to do it. I haven't done it, but I can, and I have caught them and I have eaten them.
What about crab?
And that's one of the things I was jealous of Florida again, because just before we go down there to the Keys, Audrey's uncle is sending us, hey, we're going shrimping tonight. And I'm like, oh, man, that's cool. Sure enough, they go out and wait till it's dark, I guess, and they've got big nets and they're catching a bunch of shrimp to have for dinner. I'm like, golly, I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that.
What's up, Palm Predator?
What's up?
Good seeing you, man.
All right, got it done. Sitting here.
There you go.
Working on it. It's hard to see, but anyway, John, since last time you and I fished, you didn't catch any walleye. I think I'm going to save this one. I'm going to call this the A&J special.
Okay.
We're going to use that next time we go.
Sounds good. I'm used to using crawler harnesses. That's all I used until I fished with you and didn't catch any. So I got no problem with. I never made them myself though. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, they're
double
fun.
hook, right? Double hook.
What's that? Double hook? Yeah, I used to use treble hooks, but I just use the regular wide gap.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's going to show up. Probably not at all.
Right there.
Yeah, just a wide gap. So, There's my contribution for the night.
Cool. Hey, on the whole Michigan thing, I was saying June, but now it's all a mess. Don't know when we're getting to Michigan. Daughter that's in the Navy is now going to. She's coming back from her last sea duty, so she's got a shore duty, and then she retires. Well, they decided to move her, so she's moving from Washington State to Connecticut to where the submarine school's at, right? So she's moving to Connecticut. This is going to happen May, June. Grandbabies have to move. We're all involved in this. So I don't know. I know I'm going to get to Michigan this year, but now I haven't. It's probably going to be back in August again when walleye fishing around Eau Grace sucks, but I don't know. That's all. I don't know.
Justin Randall says him and Pappas have been making so much tackle lately. They've got their own business. They make jigs and plastics for walleye. I'm proud to say that I am on their pro staff. Right, Justin? Am I still on the pro staff even when I'm making other stuff?
You're fired.
Erie Advantage Custom Tackle. That's the name of their business.
Nice.
A free plug. We will add that. Ed, we need to have a discussion about this in advance. We can officially, discuss the product and put a link in the description and kind of get you a little bit more visibility about that in the future.
Yep. Grant, when are you going fishing?
I don't know. I'm interested. Do they sell locally or online, or how do they sell their products?
Oh.
You can go. Justin might pipe in here again, but they've got a Facebook page, and I will send you the link, and you can just go right to their Facebook page. Or I can also, if you guys want, I can text you Justin or Pete's phone number if you're interested in some of it. Otherwise, the way to get it is to go on Facebook, look up Erie Advantage Custom Tackle. They've got a Facebook page, and that's how you make contact with them.
Yeah, we should. I want to have some fun with this. I want to have a conversation behind the scenes about this, and a more in-depth conversation on video about this tackle. I'm very curious.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Justin says, I hope they open up Canadian waters by spring. That's another thing for our northern folks. There's a lot of folks up north who go and fish into Canada, kind of like on the regular, just like, we might fish somewhere out in the Gulf. And man, that's been shut down for how long? You folks up north can pipe in. But I know it's been shut down. There's been a lot of people that you just can't go into Canada and fish right now.
No.
Why is that?
It's anything. If they've closed their boundary waters, like I have a Canadian fishing license, but I cannot go into Canadian waters, even though I have a Canadian fishing license. It's just taboo right now. COVID,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. If it's not one thing, it's another. I swear.
Yep. Grant just put a link to that.
There it is.
I'm assuming the Facebook page for the folks that product.
I appreciate you doing that, Grant. Thank you.
Grant is always on the spot with that stuff. Good job.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Good looking.
If anybody wants to pay money for a guy who is an absolute top of the line moderator, you can't have him, but we can point you in the direction of someone else.
Yeah, he's ours, damn it.
Yeah, we got him.
Jerry Toner, Justin Trudeau needs to go. That rhymes.
I don't want to get into politics.
No, not.
We hear a lot of that stuff. We hear a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. I just stopped right there. Like I was going to say something, and then nope, not even going to go that direction with it.
Same here. No need to waste people's time.
We just got out of an election year. Like seriously.
Mm-hmm. Man, what a year!
An election year and a pandemic.
All right. So, anybody got I'll start plans. Okay. So my boat's still not running because I still haven't had a chance to work on it. That's why I haven't talked to Stanley and Peter about coming and fishing with me because, well, the boat's not running. So I'm still working on that. Once I get it running, then hopefully fishing happens. My wife is leaving me. Okay, no, not like that. She's going up to Washington because my oldest in the Navy is coming to shore finally, and she's going to go up there and spend like a week and a half, 2 weeks with her. So she's leaving me home alone, is what I meant to say. So
Uh-oh.
probably gonna go fishing.
Break something.
Well, that's a given. But I'm probably gonna go fishing somewhere. This is mid-March, and I'm thinking I might have to go to the coast to fish. Maybe even, I mean, I know it's not a great time for surf fishing, but
It's mid-March. Your wife is out of town. This has like spring break written all over it.
fishing instead of all the other craziness.
Yeah.
I still got to work, but I got a weekend there where I can sneak away and maybe go to the coast and try some. I don't know, Stanley. Can you surf fish in March?
If there's fish. Yeah, if you get the in March, particular, like, a little bit later in March, the better, obviously, but I bet it's going to start happening here pretty soon.
Right.
You have all of those species that start working their way up the coast. And man, I've had March days where I'm catching sheep's head and ling and drum and like just crazy stuff in the surf. So it's there. And March is the time when that happens.
Okay. Well,
So
might be able to come
got
down.
to ask here, Pete. Canada is off limits to non-essential travel until at least March 21st. So obviously we as fishermen are non-essential travel people, but does that mean after March 21st they're going to open it up, or you don't?
That's when they revisit the idea.
Yeah, so at least until March 21st. So
Is essential if you work?
I think it's, well, if you work in essential fields, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but down here in Texas, essential field is like gas station.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, I don't think they're letting you cross the border to work in a gas station. I don't know though. Maybe they are.
I was wondering if, like YouTube counted as a job and could be, maybe essential.
It's a business.
It's worth asking.
Hey, another thing I'm hoping to do in March is do the test and all that to get my drone pilot license.
Are you? That's awesome.
So
I love that.
I'll do commercial. You need roofs inspected with a drone. I'll fly my drone and inspect the roof for you. Shoot video.
What are you going to check on a roof with a drone, John?
You fly the drone over.
You won't know until you do it.
It's not hard. You can look at and see if the shingles are all jacked up. See if there's a hole in the roof by the fireplace. Whatever.
Because see, I have to get right up on the roof and get right up next to the fireplace to find any leaks and any holes around skylights. So you must have one hell of a good drone that you can get right in there.
Overview is what it is. Hey, you got real estate to sell and you want an aerial view of the real estate. Hey.
Not to mention, when you do that, again, let's have a sit-down conversation. I know some places you can go to sell all the other footage that you don't want to use. If you got your license, you can do that. And there are people without licenses who will buy it from you. You just list it online and someone will buy it. Somebody wants that epic shot, that drone shot of Padre Island from spring break to use in their video. Yep. One of these fledgling YouTubers.
Yep.
I got one from Au Gray that I used that somebody sent to me. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, you did. Back before we were officially official.
I tell you what, I don't do drones. Like, I've got the one. I have a terrible time trying to get that thing in the air, and I'm not giving up on it. But I will pay somebody to get me good drone footage any day of the week over pulling that thing out on my own, because that sucks.
Yeah, my only problem, here's the hard thing for me, and you probably, other guys and gals face this. You're going on a fishing trip. You're the only YouTuber in the group. Nobody gives a crap about holding a camera for you or anything. So you got cameras set up. They're fishing. You're trying to get everything set up. And you want to fish because, that's part of the process is you catching some fish. Oh, but you want to fly the drone. But you can't fly the drone and be fishing. You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest challenges to having multiple cameras or a drone and trying to be a part of the video instead of just the person filming the video. So
Exactly, and I'm filming with my phone. So if I take the phone and put it on the drone, to film, because it's obviously that's how you film with the drone. At least that's how I got it on mine. That means I'm totally out of commission. I can't film anything that gets caught in that time frame. So it has to be a different time frame. So typically, like a lot of the drone footage, I'm not even gonna lie, the drone footage that I use, I will go out for a beach weekend with my family, and while we're out there hanging out, I will record some drone footage, and that is the footage that I'm going to use for subsequent videos. I don't film. I'm like the Super Bowl or whatever basketball game with a blimp. I'm not filming the beach the day that I'm actually fishing. It's just too much. Just can't do it.
that is a challenge.
Justin Randall, he asks, is it legal in Texas to use a drone to hunt? John, you're getting your license. What are your thoughts? I know that's a thing. Go ahead.
I don't think it is to hunt legal game. I mean, if you're using it for hogs, something invasive,
Nobody cares.
But the overlying thing is you can't harass wildlife with the drone. So if they see you flying around deer and trying to move deer to a certain location or something, that's automatically going to be harassing wildlife. And if you post that stuff, you're probably going to get, especially if someone sees it and turns your ass in, you're going to get on the front door. You know what I mean?
I thought the rule on it was you could have a drone up and you could film, but you couldn't actually use it to hunt. Now,
Right.
What you're saying sounds more legit than what I heard, but that was kind of what I was told.
That's part of the hunt. If you're using it to try to move animals in a direction or something, yeah, you can't do that.
Okay.
Now, the drone would have to be like a bystander watching things happen. It can't be a part of the process of hunting. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Hooked Up and Backlash says no, and you're right.
I see my better half is here. Hi, honey.
Ma'am?
Judy.
Much better half.
Yeah, I've met both of them. Yeah, much better.
Ma'am to you.
I don't know how you do it, Judy, but God bless you.
Oh.
How about if we're just checking to see if they are bedded down in an area?
Again, here's the thing. Hey, I was just flying my drone. I happen to see some deer down there.
Exactly. Okay. That's what you say.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. But if you post a video, hey, this is how I found the deer so I could go hunt the deer, now you might have an issue. You know what I mean?
Grant, you hunt more than the other three of us combined, I think. What is, you got to know more about that, right? Like, what are your thoughts on drone hunting?
Well, according to the outdoortroop.com for Texas, the only thing you can use a drone for is to take your line out farther than you can cast.
Oh, for fishing.
Right.
Fishing.
Yeah. You can't spot them.
Right. You can't spot fish. You can't spot animals for the intentions of harvesting them.
There you
Any
go.
of you guys seen that episode of South Park where they go out hunting? They're making fun of people who go hunting, and they're like, yeah, it's exotic species and stuff. And they're like, as long as it's, self-defense, then you're okay. So just before you shoot, you got to say, it's coming right for us. And that was the whole catch. Like every time they go to shoot anything at all, it didn't matter if it was like a big bear or a little squirrel. If it was protected, they had to say, it's coming right for us every time they'd go to hunt.
Hey, on that, one thing you said about taking your line out, you also need to check local rules and regulations, because when I first started looking at drones, that was one of my thoughts for Padre Island was take my bait out because I'm not going to swim it out like Stanley does, and I'm not going to kayak it out. And then I looked into Padre Island National Seashore is no drones. So no matter what, I couldn't fly my drone there, even if it wasn't to take a bait out, just to take pictures, no drones. So make sure you check local. When I was in the Keys, we went down to Key West. I'm going to fly and get some cool Key West footage. All of Key West, no drone footage, no flights. So I know people have done it, but it's not legal. So I didn't try.
I looked up after the fact. I was looking at the rules down at Cozumel because I brought the drone down there. I didn't end up using it. I ended up getting scared off, thinking, I don't know what the rules are down here. This is dumb, and I hate the thing in the first place. This is my excuse not to use it. And after looking up the rules after the fact, it turns out that I can use a drone down in Cozumel, but I'm not allowed to do it in a way that is harassing of people or something. So basically, if anybody is annoyed, they can call the cops on me. And if you've ever been to a Mexican prison, that's not something that you want to do.
Avoided it. I had to avoid it.
Avoided it. Well, I've never been myself, but you're right. Avoided it once or twice. Had to carry Rachel across the border once.
Here in the States, you're not supposed to fly over groups of people. You're not supposed to fly over or around active scenes of, accidents or something like that. Like there's that big pilot we had on the highway because of the ice up towards Austin, and somebody out there flying a drone over that's not legal. So
yeah,
there's a lot of rules to it. Jenny,
there are. Yeah,
how's how you doing, Jenny? Glad you made it. Yeah, Judy says it's pretty tough keeping up with old Steve there, and I believe that.
Yeah, we know. We only have to do it an hour a week.
That's enough. I had to do with him. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I have to come to a live stream to get insulted.
Yes, sir.
No, you come to the live stream to be able to defend yourself. It's going to be said regardless.
Probably so. Oh.
So what do you guys got? Oh, go ahead, Stanley.
You beat me. We were just about to say the exact same thing. We got 5 minutes left here. Gentlemen, it is that time. I'd like to know what everybody's got coming up for us in the future. Can we start, if you don't mind, Grant? How's your son's basketball game going? I saw that he had a live stream the other day. I was not able to catch that entire game. How's the season going?
5-0. They're doing good.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Still only allowed 2 people per player in the gym at home, and we cannot go to the away games. So, and they have to wear a mask while they're playing. Yeah. At least he's getting to play, but
hey, overcome these challenges, everything else will be a lot easier.
He dunked in a game. Now the footage is a little rough. Obviously, it's a high school. But did he dunk with a mask on? Are you serious?
he has, yes. But yeah, they have to wear the mask. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, exactly.
Yeah, he's got a game Tuesday night and Thursday night that's away, so we might go try to catch a crappie Thursday.
Cool.
I don't think it's going to be thawed out by tomorrow. And then Nicholas Pouliot, I don't know if he's still in here or not. He's invited me to go with him to Missouri next Monday. It's the opening for trout season there. So next Monday, I don't know, I might be on the road back home during the live.
Grant, I want to see you catch crappie on that rod that you won in a giveaway. I know you've won a bunch of giveaways, but there's one you won a crappie rod. I'd like to see you catch one on that.
My last couple crappie videos was on that rod.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll go back and watch for particular detail for that rod.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to catch some crappie and some trout next Monday.
Cool.
Yeah,
Steve,
good luck.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
what you got coming up?
I am dead in the water. I got nothing. We caught no fish the last time we went out. Thought about doing a how to clean a bluegill with a panhandler, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before, a panhandler, but we had one about 15 years ago and the boys caught so many bluegills, they wore it out. So we bought another one. But really, I don't have anything. Sorry, just got nothing. And the thing is with me, it's like I got nothing and all of a sudden, boom, we're going fishing and all of a sudden the video pops up. So
yeah.
I got no schedule. I just go with the flow.
Okay.
I respect that, and anybody who watches your videos ought to respect it too. Like, you're not going to put out something just to put it out. Some of us do that. I'm not going to lie. I put out a video because I follow my schedule, but I totally respect that. When a Haulin Ash video comes out, you know that it's going to be worth watching.
I got Justin Randall just replied. We're still going to do that, Justin. You and Pete need to let me know when you'd like me to come down, and we're going to do a video of how they make their Erie Advantage custom tackle stuff. So that's going to happen sometime when they let me know that they're ready for my happy ass to come down and visit.
Boom, $20.
Dude, Mr. Cook, sir. Oh, look at that. Tail end of the bottle. That is for you, sir. Thank you very much. You just bought everything that I need to replace my plumbing in the house, I hope.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. I
Very,
really
very
appreciate
nice.
that.
Did you guys see Not a Great Gamer's comment to Grant?
I did.
Read it, everybody, please.
It's-
He is joking. I did not say that.
What did I say? What did I say early in the stream? I like, you want to get your hands on a guy who like is somebody who needs to be offered money as a mod, straight up, like no joke. Back off. You can't have him. And this is why.
All right.
He makes it happen.
So I'm going to have videos coming out because I just went to the Keys. Hopefully, I just started uploading clips today. And so hopefully this week, possibly one fishing video. Hopefully.
Cool.
That
Be
was my
watching for it. And how about you, Stanley? What you got coming up?
I've got a couple of more Cozumel videos that we're going to be putting out. I was not able. I've been trying to do 2 videos a week with like a 360 video on Thursdays or a Rachel Shorts video or something like that. I wasn't able to get that last week because hell froze over down here, and I'm not committing to anything this week. I do have a Cozumel video coming out. I will be filming. For anybody who doesn't know, we caught a really, really big redfish last summer in a video. And it blew out that redfish, and the fish that we caught prior to that, blew out 2 very expensive pen reels. I finally got the parts to fix those reels. It took 8 months for those parts to come in.
What pen reel are they?
The Conflict.
Okay.
Like, that's not the bottom or even the mid-tier pen reel. Like, it's kind of what the hell reel,
Yeah.
So I'm going to be repairing one of those in a video. And for anyone who has any like thoughts or insight for me on that, I am kind of like, do I need to be mad at Penn that it took 8 months to repair, get the parts I need to repair these reels that probably should not have been messed up on a 40-inch redfish? Or should I just suck it up and be like, here's a video on how to fix the reel? What are your thoughts on that?
I say because of COVID, suck it up. I took like 8 months to get a trolling motor that should have taken a couple weeks, but in the end, it was oh my goodness, it was COVID. Oh, Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry.
Wow.
Jerry.
For that one? Gray Goose time.
Thank you. And just so that everybody, so that we're, open and transparent, this live stream is on my channel this week. So obviously this revenue is coming into my coffers. Gentlemen, this is, I will be spreading the wealth on this. No, don't concern yourself about that.
No,
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, brother. That's going to get you.
No, this is all of us. This is all of us. We're all getting, I've got my plumbing replaced, courtesy of Mr. Covarubius. And who was that prior? They had the other super chat, Hamiltonville Farm. So Hank and Ben, thank you guys. Y'all replaced the plumbing. Jerry, that is going to go to whiskey for everybody here. We cannot thank you enough. Really, really appreciate it.
Very awesome. Very awesome.
No, I haven't, Janet. I haven't tried Tito's, but I probably should.
Tito's is good. It's not bad. I'm from Texas. Yeah. I have to say that. Tito's requires us to say it.
Next week, we're over there, right?
Next week.
No. Remember, I bowed out because of my work schedule. I'm here to assist, but I can't host.
Okay.
Yes,
me, right? Is it me then? All right. Next week.
John?
Be there or be square.
You got next. For anybody who is not subscribed, we do have a link in the description for everybody up here. We want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. It is nice to finally have a little bit of warm weather, and it is warm because of all of the company and warmth that you have provided for us on this wonderful Monday afternoon. Thank you guys all for joining us. Grant, Steve, John, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with me and for being such wonderful compatriots and friends and everything else. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream on Monday.
Peace out.
Night, guys.